Hello viewers, my name is Metuli Sibanda. Welcome to another edition of the Sunday Live podcast. I'm joined by Lauren Shenk. Lauren, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me again.
Well, Lauren, we were here at the end of, towards the end of August at your place, just before you went off to the Comrades Marathon.
Correct.
And you've come back. It's been about 7 weeks since you ran the Comrades Marathon. Lauren, just to choke our memory of our viewers, Lauren is a breast cancer survivor, and she decided that she's going to run Comrades Marathon. She ran the race before in
2017 and 2018.
Yeah, so she went back this time around and under different circumstances because she didn't really prepare for the race, but her friend, Debbie King,
Correct.
said that we're going to run the Comrades, and they just a bit of how many weeks was it?
It was 3 months training.
3 months training, yes. So how was the race? How was the race for you?
It was tough, very tough, but that was expected. But it actually was such an incredible day from beginning to end. Yeah, it was a very rewarding run.
Rewarding run indeed. But your time this time around, would you say that was it because of the preparations?
Oh yes, yeah. So we were quite a bit slower this year round. But in the previous years when we had run, we had put in a lot of training. So 8 months to a year of training for each run. With this one, it was only 3 months. So it was a little bit of a compacted training program to get us there. So yeah, not quite as enough training, but it was enough for us to be able to run.
So did you guys run as a group throughout the race?
Correct.
You never left each other?
Never left each other's sides. We started together and we finished together. We crossed the finish line together holding hands. So. Awesome. And you had taken some members of the family with you, understand? Yes. So us three girls, Debbie, Lindsay, Dulab and myself all ran together, and our daughters are almost the same age. And we flew into Pietermaritzburg and ran from Pietermaritzburg down to Durban. So it was the down run this year. And our girls, all three girls, flew in the night before we ran and met us at the finish line in Durban. So it was absolutely incredible to cross that line and see our three girls there waiting for us to finish. So very emotional for us.
Good. And the scary part about that race, I'm sure by now you know that three people lost their lives attempting the Comrades Marathon. How scary was it for you? I'm sure you did come across some of the...
It's very, very scary. We were about 45 k's into the run, and we passed a gentleman on the side of the road, and they were trying to resuscitate him. And it was actually a very life-changing moment for you to realize how fragile life is, because that gentleman that died on the side of the road, he was a fit man. He was a strong man. To run Comrades, you have to do qualifiers. You have to be able to run certain amounts of distance to get into the run, and you have to be fit. And yet this man, halfway through, he had a heart attack. And all those people that were there, it was just a moment that everything just stood still for us to realize how fragile life is.
So if we complete the race, having just prepared for just 3 months, and some people losing their lives, what does it mean for you? I mean, were you able to complete the race, looking at that people died and trying to complete the race?
I think it just makes you realize how important it is to be healthy, not only physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, all of that, that it's such a holistic thing that you have to be prepared for everything and anything at any time. With our training, before we had put a lot more into it. So this time was very, very short, but we made sure that we had gone to doctors. I'd made sure with my oncologist and my radiologist and that I was fit enough and strong enough to be able to do this. And they gave us the all clear to be able to run.
And you've not had any problems since you ran the Comrades? Not any health issues at all?
No, not at all, except for dodgy toenails from running, which is terrible. But no, ended strong. I actually, surprisingly, was 2 days, and I was pretty much back to normal. Where before on our runs, it's taken us like 3 or 4 days to get over that penguin walk that we spoke about the last time. But this one, it was quick. 2 days later, I was up and down stairs, not very gracefully, but I was able to move around, which is great.
You're just telling me about the cutoffs that they do from the 15Ks going up to 72Ks.
Correct.
Yeah. Were you running with that in mind to say
Yes.
you're going to beat the cutoff?
Yes. So it's actually a really good thing for you to be able to just prepare for your race. That they have, I think it's 4 or 5 cutoffs starting from 15 kilometers, and they give you enough time to be able to run it. So it's not like you are having to race out and then slow down later. It's good for you to be able to pace yourself. So at 15 kilometers, if you have not made it within, I think the time was 2.5 hours, they do pull you off. And then they do that through the race. So that's what we would do, is we knew that we had got there with an hour to spare, and then made sure that each cutoff that we had, we didn't get slower than that, to make sure that we would be there well within the 12-hour cutoff.
Right. And any chances of you running Comrades again, or that was it for you?
You know what? I did say to you the last time that 2 was enough for me, and I definitely wasn't interested in doing it again until Debbie signed me up for it. And that day when we finished, we said, no, we're done, we're not going to do it again. But I think there might be one more. You know what? It's such an incredible race. It really, really is an incredible race. And like I said before as well, when you see all the different people and all different walks of life, and just the support for everyone running, it really is an epic run. So we might do one more, which might lead to another one and another one. We don't know.
Another one, yeah. All right. This month, as I'm sure you're aware, is the Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October. What can you say to fellow women? What can you say? You say, I mean, I think for yourself, you were lucky enough that it was discovered early. What can you say to fellow women, even men? I'm sure men also suffer from breast cancer.
For sure.
What can you say, talking about issues of self-checking yourself and things like that?
For sure. I think, you know what, people are not embarrassed to have problems, but I think that they would much rather let things wait it out until it's too late. I think as soon as you suspect that there might be something, or if you're not feeling well, or if you find a lump, to go immediately. Rather have a doctor say to you, know what, it's nothing, than you wait too late, and then it's you having to face chemo and having to face radiation. I think people are under a lot of stress here, and I'm pretty sure that adds to the high count of, with cancer and illness and that we have in Zimbabwe, and it's about just stepping back a bit as well. And I think just enjoying the moment and living for the small moments, living for the big moments, and really taking care not only of us physically but mentally as well. It's a challenge that a lot of people are facing right now, and it's a very, very scary time. But it's I think if you surround yourself with good people that support you and love you, and first and foremost God, definitely keep your eyes on God.
So Lauren, being this month being the Breast Cancer Awareness Month, I would like you to speak to mostly women. I know this also affects men, but what can you say as a woman, when it comes to issues of early detection, or checking yourself for those lumps, things like that? Can you maybe just say something to the women?
Absolutely. I think it's so important just to be on top of this and aware that this is something that a lot of women do face and come into contact with. In my story, I found a little lump, and at the beginning I thought it was something that was just silly, and it could have been anything, but it wasn't anything. And I think it's so important that as soon as you do feel a lump or feel something is a little bit off, to go to doctors and to get these things checked, especially as you're getting a little bit older. This is something that we are faced with far more often than we would even like to think about. So I think just being proactive, I think acting immediately, because the sooner you catch it, the easier it is to sort out something like this. The longer that you leave it, it just can get further along, and then the treatment plan is a lot harder. But also to be able to talk about it with people. I think people often think that it's a taboo thing, or it's they're not sure of the words to say. But if you are involved with people that do have breast cancer, to ask the questions that you need to ask, to find out things, and then to be able to be proactive with it and with the treatment.
Well, Lauren Shenk, we are in the Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and she's a breast cancer survivor, and she just ran the Comrades about 7 weeks ago, and she made it. And as you can see, I've been sitting down with her here as we spoke about breast cancer awareness. We spoke about running the Comrades, which she says might not have been her last, but she promised me last time that was her last. But it seems that her friends are convincing her otherwise. But of course, it would be good. It would be good to have you guys again running Comrades Marathon in future. Let's have more Zimbabweans running the Comrades Marathon.
Yes, there were quite a few. Did you see that?
Yes, I saw a lot of
incredible.
Zimbabweans that ran the Comrades Marathon, and it would be nice to have you guys run again next year and the year after, until we can't run anymore.
Correct.
So, Lauren, thank you very much. Thank you again for allowing us to your home here and sharing your story, and hope that you can inspire more breast cancer survivors to run the Comrades and many more other races that are available out there. Wishing you all the good health and all the good life in future.
Thank you very much.
All our viewers, do continue to follow us on Instagram. We're there. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. But on YouTube, there on that subscribe button, please click that subscribe button on Sunday News. We need those subscribers on YouTube, and keep on following us on all platforms. And till next time.